Silicon Valley, technology, art, green, and sustainability.
Welcome to another episode of Silicon Valley Tech, Art, Green, and Sustainability. Today I'm honored to have two gentlemen who are making life easier for others and also making it rewarding and fun, which is what sustainability is all about, helping others to do something, whether it's environment, whether it's living easier. So you both of you, Neil, you work with Operation Surf.
Correct.
And you did as well, and you've founded a company that works with several people. So let's just do a little self-introduction, and we'll start with you, and tell us a little bit about yourself and your company.
Yeah, I'm a surfer, and I'm also a Silicon Valley engineer. And so for years I drove over the hill to surf in Santa Cruz, and then I had an opportunity to integrate my engineering passion with my surfing, and I built a board in 2003. So
it's quite a board.
Yeah, it actually wasn't this one. I built it for myself, and then I met Jesse Billauer. So to cut right to the point, we are building boards that will enable people like Jesse and others, especially veterans, to get out and surf and have a lot of fun.
And your name's Dainuri, Rott. I didn't say that, so Rott.
Yep.
Yeah. And you're
Yes.
based in Redwood City.
Yes, my name's Dainuri Rott, and the name of the organization is called Good Life Mobility. We're a 501c3 based in Redwood City, and we're real excited about supporting Operation Surf and other ventures like this.
And other adventures.
Yeah.
And Neil, you write, and you have Santa Cruz stand-up paddleboard company. Did I get the name right?
Correct.
And it's exciting. I found out my niece is taking classes from you,
She
and
has.
a lot of people. Yeah.
She's one of the first people that came out there to Lake Vasona in Los Gatos, where I teach. And my name is Neil Pearlberg. I lived in Santa Cruz for 30 years, surfed pretty much since I got there. Fell in love with the sport.
So you went there when you were a child, then?
Went there I was very young when I went there, and started Santa Cruz Stand-Up Paddleboard Company, and teach mainly in the Bay Area.
How long ago was that?
That was about 4 years ago.
Okay.
And introduce the sport to the Bay Area, bring over some of the surf culture from Santa Cruz to people in the Bay Area. And I also am the surf columnist for the Santa Cruz Sentinel. So I get to have met and have written about many of the top surfers of the world, top characters of the world, top people involved in the history of the sport. And it's been a fun adventure.
So you cover the Mavericks and all that?
I cover it from kids up to the history of the sport back when it first started.
And where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Brighton, England.
Love the accent. I was going to say Australia, England, wasn't really sure. So
That's it.
What did you do before the surfing became, really your life, yeah?
So before that, I was involved with schools and coaching. Always still like to coach kids. I still coach a high school surf team, involved in the high school surf league. I coach soccer still, and still play the beautiful game.
And so the stand-up paddleboard, you teach it in Santa Cruz and over here in Los Gatos, or?
I teach it mainly in Lake Vasona in Los Gatos, at Lake Coyote Lake it's called, in Gilroy, and at Lake Elizabeth in Fremont, and also in Santa Cruz. But I generally try and separate the paddleboarding and the surfing and bring the paddleboarding over here to the Bay Area.
Now I met you guys at the Operation Surf last week. So tell me a little bit about what that is and how you got involved.
Well, I think Neil would be in a great position to answer more of that.
So we'll let him.
Operation, I was one of the. I found out about Operation Surf early last year when they were coming to Santa Cruz. They sent out a press release, and I was asked to write about it. And Operation Surf is a group that gathers soldiers from the Brooke Army Hospital in San Antonio. And last year there was a group, 10 U.S. Marines and 10 Royal British Navy that came out here together to surf in Santa Cruz. And I wrote an article about it, and literally people came out of the woodwork to help, and it was a huge event. And for Santa Cruz Sentinel, it's very rare for me to write 2 articles about the same thing in the 1 year. They just don't let it just doesn't happen. And last year they allowed me to write 2, and later on in the year, December, right before the new year, I wrote an article called The Event of the Year, because without question, in the surfing world, which is Santa Cruz is probably #1, that was the event of the year.
So above Maverick, which is down the road a little.
Mavericks is down the road in Harpoon Bay, so I try and mostly cover what happens in town. But when we had 20 soldiers last year, mostly amputees or post-traumatic stress disorder, surfing in Santa Cruz, it was with the whole of Santa Cruz either laughing or crying at the same time. It was truly a memorable event, so this year I got involved in it as far as organizing the event.
Let's bring up a photo here. I think we have 3 great photos that we can bring up, and I love this photo of just sitting out there waiting for a wave. Let's bring the next one up too. And this is what it's all about, right? And there was a great article. Go ahead and bring the next one up. I love this. I can't even do this like on the ground, let alone a wave. On a board. I've seen pictures of you doing this. You can take that down, and that's just amazing to have balance like that. I don't have that kind of balance.
Those soldiers, they want to stand. They want to stand on their head. They wanted to stand on their hand. They just
want to have fun.
They want to have a good time.
Yeah.
Even when the waves got big last year, we were concerned about the soldiers wanting to go in these big, huge waves. They didn't care. They just wanted to surf, and it's a truly great event.
Yeah, such spirit in the guys. And I was looking online, and the place in Texas, a gentleman who makes prosthetics just got an award for his new invention, and it was just amazing looking at some of the technology, which is why you're here, some of the technology coming into this. And Amazing Surf Adventures is one of the companies that puts it on, along with the military, and
Correct.
And it takes, a whole village, I guess, to help out, and it's actually 2 different locations that they do it.
Pismo Beach and Santa Cruz, and it takes a whole village to organize the troops to come out here with their staff and for a week.
And so they probably start the planning now, this time of year for next year?
We take about 3 days off.
Yeah.
And then you start for next year.
Ah, wow. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of planning.
Yeah.
And how many volunteers do you anticipate?
More than enough. We have
50,
we
100,
have
yeah.
people come out of the woodwork to help.
That's great.
And you have to limit the volunteers, otherwise it just gets out of hand.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and how did you get involved with?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say we're just stoked to support Neil and this kind of thing, and that's our main mission, is to support organizations through the technology that you mentioned. And I think it started out with my personal experience with Jesse Billauer, who suffers from quadriplegia. He actually was in a surfing accident. And I was just really touched by his courage. And it turns out that, in developing a board for his condition, we have this huge population that we're also serving, which is the veterans. And so when I heard about Operation Surf, I wanted to be there and meet the folks and tell them about what we're doing. And our mission is actually to donate boards to these programs so that, that there's more fun.
So they can go out and get the bigger waves. And
there's all kinds of possibilities that, that clearly are possible with some technology. And we want to explore that, and we want to explore that in a way that maximizes the feedback from the people that we're serving.
So let's go back to I think I have a great, let's pull up a photo now of your company, the paddleboard company. Oh, another Operation Surf. This is a great one too. Let's go to the next slide. So now, is that you?
That's Operation Surf last year. I took, the soldiers pretty much didn't want to surf with me. They wanted to surf with my dog, because they heard about my dog, Rusty. And that's my dog Rusty, who's very well known in Santa Cruz. And he got to surf with the troops, and this year they requested Rusty to come out there again.